main tank here because of the low ceilings, you can get so much cover from his shield when you meet together in White Room, or if you go straight towards the point, they've got that central pillar, which allows you a lot of cover, means you don't have to take too much shield pressure. Both of our teams going to be rolling out, like we said, with the 3-3 for Reinhardt and the Zenyatta, so fairly standard here as these two teams meet in the center.
Yeah, not too much of a surprise. Spurs takes a little bit of an early damage, but JK Lol going extremely aggro. Just look at the percentages that they're being able to acquire so early on in terms of ult charge. JK Lol being a bit too aggressive though, does get punished for it. It was a bit no man's land to start off with, actually made his way to the back line, and he just left himself pretty open to Dragon Eddie. He was able to flank him, get a lot of damage down with the micro missiles, and he was good as dead. And
when you see JK Lol out of position, you can usually credit that to either Dredro or Leaf, the two French supports here for Morningstars. Well, I guess Leaf technically is more of a DPS player, but they are both so good at using those knockbacks to actually dislocate a Reinhardt from this turtle-esque formation you often see in 3-3s.
Whoa, Mardis going so aggro. Bit of a Meta's maker there for a second. Mousasa throwing that shatter into the shield of JK Lol. Went a little bit wide. That rally's going to come through from Shoes Money Crew. Same with Morningstars though, but Xrath ends up going down. Nice pin from JK Lol. Goes a little bit wide, but still separates the rest of Morningstars. Morningstars, however, have control of the point right now, so this is all a good time. They're building up with just contesting for so long. They end up getting killed off in the end. Gustav finding a nice couple of kills for himself, but not before they can secure 34%.
And Shoes Money Crew there, they only used the rally jaws. Malzasa was forced to try and make that clutch play of a shadow after Hardest went down. He knew that there wasn't enough damage to win out a 3-3 fight, so he had to make sure that some members of Shoes Money Crew would be picked off with that ultimate. And now Shoes Money Crew, they can pretty much use these at their leisure. They've got to worry about Dragon Eddie potentially eating a Graviton Surge, of course, but you can track that defense magic. You know that it's not going to be up for 2 seconds after you see it go down, because it's got the longer cooldown now.
Oh, big shatter. Malzasa got booped out of the way, but the beat should save the team for now. Another beat is going to come through, but Dragon Eddie sending that bomb to the back line. A big shatter and a big bomb. Slur and Obling could turn into dust.
Oh, that can't be allowed.
Malzasa, though, is not going to go down. JK Lol finds the pin onto Xrath as well. Hardest also falls. This is really bad news for Shoes Money Crew. They're going to have to focus down one target. They've only got the Lucio with the brick healing. They managed to chase out Mouse, but Shoes Money Crew continuing to hold the point. Now they have to force Molfig away. But this is such a stalemate right now. Both teams are going to be able to regroup on the point.
This is so messy. Malzas has rejoined. There's for self-destruct. Will it catch anyone?
Gets launched. Doesn't find anyone just yet. Dragon Eddie's mech takes a lot of damage. Forces Xrath to use the Transcendence to move them forward. Now Slur's going to use his. Not a moment later. They're going to have a healing advantage going into the next few seconds. A Graviton Surge to lock up JK Lol. So much damage is being paid to him, but he's going to be able to back off in time. A shatter hits Gustav, but Dredro already falls. The fight is still continuing. A bomb's going to get launched in, and Shoes Money Crew have now found 2 supports. Xerath and Dredro are going to fall down, and now they have to rely on Leaf's healing, but Hardest, he doesn't need any of that. He's got a right click and 100 energy. He's willing to just carve through the rest of Shoes Money Crew. They end up falling down, and eventually they manage to recap the point.
Yeah, eventually, George. Shoes Money Crew for 79%, and you know what really made that work was that JK Lol got a random charge onto Xerath, and that's why I screamed this can't be allowed, because Xerath is such a important part of Morningstars. He can throw out those orbs of destruction, do a huge amount of DPS, as well as apply with Discord Orb. If he's getting killed by a random pin that was basically JK Lol resetting, then that means the Shoes Money Crew can re-enter the fight.
Really early grab on the side of the wall. No Transcendence to match. That was used in the last fight, and Obling pays the price for it. Molfig jumps onto the point, sacrifices himself to Morningstars. Leaf does end up going down, though. Mouse did find the kill. Shoes Money Crew without JK Lol can't really do much, so they're going to head back.
Molfig manages to reset himself off the side. Shoes Money Crew looking at last fight territory right now, but look at this. Also got the Graviton Surge available, and of course the self-destruct, and that can be an incredibly dangerous combo if they can force out some shields from Hardest beforehand. Xrath will be able to survive that using invincibility, and Malzasa will have the greatest way to try and repel that with his own shield, but JK Lol can pin him out of a Graviton.
Malzasa's going to have to hit a big shatter as well if he wants to end this quickly and cleanly. He's setting up for one, just making sure they have to play around these small, tight corridors. That's a big shatter. 4's going to hit the ground, but Slur's going to use that Transcendence to keep them in. Maus and JK Lol fall, but overtime is now here. A self-destruct is going to have to be gargantuan, but it doesn't find anything. A beat's going to come through from Dredro, and they're still sitting on ultimates. Dragon Eddie and Xrath still have their own. A ball is going to come back from JK Lol, but the rest of his team were already dead. It's just cleaning him up now. Just the niceties at this point. Big grab from Mouse in the back, just gets eaten by Dragon Eddie. Thank you very much, the round's over already. Control Center goes over to Morningstars.
And we hyped up Hardest, Jules, when we were talking about Morningstars, and I'm pretty sure there he got about 3 grabs in the time that Mouse built up his and couldn't use it at all, because he got stunned early in that fight. He got hit with the Earth Shatter when JKL got a little bit too aggressive, which meant the shield wasn't there, and that meant that Malzassi was like, okay, so people have used their personal barriers and their Xayah barriers, so there's nothing about to stop me from getting a 4-man shatter and forcing out a Transcendence in a far more defensive manner than they'd like. They're attacking, so I want to be able to use that Transcendence in a more defensive manner. But when Hardest has so many targets on the floor, he can just pump damage into them. He's just carving his initials into a mech of Molfig, and that means that he can get those Graviton surges, and there's nothing to answer him, because you have to answer a huge slam with a Transcendence as well. You force out this very difficult coordination of resources from Shoes Money Crew, and that's how Morningstars managed to win out that round.
Oh, now we're on Night Market, so they do move on to the point, or try to at least. Morningstar's taking a whole lot of damage. Dragon Eddie's going so low. He's going to have to reconvene with the rest of his team. Does receive an armor pack, but Hardest now left out high and dry. Actually right-clicks himself to death by accident, and Malzasser is also going to fall. JKL just needs to stay alive, but Dragon Eddie, through his shield, did manage to get the Pilot Diva melee. Ends up finding the kill, but Shoes Money Crew still going to be able to control and cap the point.
Bit of a split there from Morningstars as well. Dragon Eddie taking so much damage early meant that he had to go out and take a mega health pack. And Xraf looked like he was trying to get the heal on Dragon Eddie, and he made his own path around the outside while the remainder of his team were going through the center. And while that is safe for Jaws, for Zenyatta, it does mean you're getting less DPS uptime. And when you have less DPS uptime, that means the enemy are going to be able to get well ahead in terms of the damage they've done to your 3-3 core.
Fake engage from Gustav using that speed up available, amps it up. The rest of Morningstars going to tone it down just a little bit as they do back off. JKL's almost got a shatter, just coming online now. Leaf's also got that rally. Did use it to engage the fight last time around. Obling is behind in that regard. He just used the rally not just a moment ago. Rally coming out from Leaf. Big shatter in the back line. Does hit one. A big pin actually coming through, but the Transcendence from both teams is going to keep everybody alive for the moment. Dragon Eddie's mech does go down. Those Morningstars aren't out this just yet. A 3-man grab should signal the end of the fight, though, as Leaf and Retro end up falling. Now he's just catching people on the entrance. He manages to clean up Hardest as well, all his Obling does. And Shoes Money Crew now have 50% on the board.
Beautiful pressure play there as well. Getting the pin onto Malzasser really meant that Xraf was forced to use that Transcendence to get that 300 healing per second, because for charge, of course, it does about 297 damage to a full health Reinhardt. That's going to leave him in a very dire strait. And some great play from Molfig as well, not to feel forced to use his self-destruct. It's going to be available for this next fight. Potentially it can be combined later with a JKL Earth Shadow. We've seen how effective that combination can be. But right now, it's all about Malzasser and his Earth Shadow.
Tridd got picked off so early, and now the go button has been pressed, but they still throw out the grab. Dragon Eddie is going to use that self-destruct on top. Can they find a kill? They cannot, as JKL got shielded by Xayah, and Maus ends up killing Malzasser. Malzasser died with Shatter, so they got that for the next fight, but Hardest threw that in when 2 people were already dead. They're now using Transcendence as well to try and escape the fight. You've only got 1 more left. 5% is now available for Shoes Money Crew to just claim if they don't get back.
And Leaf got burst through the Transcendence as well. Maus, oh, they aren't going to be able to block that one.
Overtime is still ticking through. They do manage to at least contest for the time being.
3 down.
Doomfist has come out from Leaf. He has to find a big pick. Opening is going to go down, but a Transcendence from Slur to keep them all alive. Leaf's going to have to find a nice little rocket punch into the side of the wall. Maus is going to end up going down. The rest of Morningstars now rounding about on Shoes Money Crew. Just managed to get onto the point at the very end, all thanks to Leaf's Doomfist.
We call it Leaf's famous Doomfist, and we call it that for a reason. When he was playing on Gamers Origin Jaws, the all-French roster, he was known as one of the people who pioneered the tech that you can have with Doomfist. People were playing him in a far more basic manner. They're like, okay, I use Rocket Punch for 1 shot, then I get out. But no, Leaf was innovative with it. And now he's going to have to go over back to a Brigitte, but potentially a taste of things to come for our playoff patch. But things are about to come towards Morningstars, who desperately need to hold on here.
Maus have Scrap, though, and that's the win condition right now for Shoes Money Crew. They've also got that self-destruct. He can throw it in when he likes. He has to keep an eye on Dragon Eddie, though. He's been famous for eating those Graviton Surges with the DM. Graviton Surge gets thrown in. Explosive on top. Oh. 2 kills for Molfig. Hardest and Malzasser end up going down, and Shoes Money Crew are going to be able to clean up the rest. Morningstars had to be perfect in those last final moments, Harry, and it wasn't quite enough. Dragon Eddie's mech explodes, and Malzasser, or Maus even, does absorb all of that into shield energy. Shoes Money Crew find this map, and we move on to our third now.
They will even it up as we go over to one of our more variable stages on Lijiang Tower Jaws, the Night Garden. The Night Garden can be host to a Pharah, to an Ashe, to a Widowmaker, a Tracer, Sombra. Dare we dream that DPS compositions may come out here? Could be that that's exactly what you would see from Morningstars, but they aren't playing KSP. KSP on the bench for Morningstar's formidable hit scan talent. We tout him a lot because he's just so impressive, but he's not his meta Jaws. I think it's fair to say that 3-3 doesn't really have a place for a flick hit scan DPS specialist. You can't really bring in that Ashe, you can't bring in that Widowmaker, especially not on these sort of control maps where you know that 2 stages out of 3 at least you want to be playing on that 3-3. Right now, they're playing with Slur on a Moira, so I imagine once they see what they're up against, they're actually going to just send Slur back and re-engage, allow Morningstar to take the point. They are actually going to use this Moira though. This is going to be a poor
Yeah, his
matchup.
orb got eaten as well, so Slur now lacking in healing. MauZaSa goes extremely aggressive, but they still managed to kill Leaf. Slur using a bit of a DPS Moira. Not something you normally want to do. You want to heal up your front line, but opening also falls, so lack of healing from both sides now as the Brigittas will end up coming back to the fight momentarily. Shoes Money Crew posturing themselves on the point, but they're going to be able to take it if Morningstars don't go in at this point. Coalescence is now being used, and MauZaSa and Dragon Eddie are going to get pressured out. So much healing and so much damage is getting pushed through the shields, but a Transcendence that got earned by Exarath not just a moment ago is used to push them back onto point now.
Now they are. It's going to be a quick brawl out here. Shoes Money Crew are in control, but it's going to be quickly extinguished.
Nice little boop from Dreedro, getting Opening out of the fight. Almost got all the boop off the edge, but that Moira not working out so well. They switch over to the Zenyatta now, but 20% not bad for the first fight.
Morningstar, I said that they had an advantage, Jaws, but it felt like they weren't really using it. Their advantage there was the Discord orb. They could do so much damage and apply so much pressure to JK Low. But we actually saw MauZaSa going off on a wild goose chase, trying to kill Obling in the back, and Leaf falling behind because there was too much pressure to force MauZaSa to keep his shield up. So not the ideal play from Morningstar. They do eventually win it out.
Graviton Surge is online. Mouse throws one in. 2 people have been inflicted. Nice little pin onto Hardest, and he goes down so quickly. Molfig was up in the skies, had his head in his reticle, and a shatter from JK Low is going to get met with a shatter from MauZaSa as well. 4 people have hit the ground. Gustav, his beat is gone, Harry, now. They haven't got really anything left to fight with. It's just vanilla Overwatch at this point. MauZaSa falls. Exarath is going to follow him as well. Morningstar still controlling for the next couple of seconds, but Shoes Money Crew end up finding the flip.
And Hardest, he's always the target. Shoes Money Crew have identified how much of a threat Hardest is, but he's so much of a threat because he's so aggressive. He'll just walk out front and be like, okay, I'm going to get all the energy I want. I'm going to keep holding left click. I'm going to hit these mortars. And when he does that, these more intelligent teams, they all go like, okay, I guess this is feeding them. We'll kill him. And now he's going to have to find a way to use that Graviton Surge. It's going to be the main win condition here, but Molfig can try and mitigate that.
Mouse is going to build up towards another one, though. He finds the kill on Dreedro. That's an extra bit of ultimate charge for him. He's 5% away. A grab comes out from Hardest, and Dragon Eddie throws in the bomb. It's going to have to be big to wipe them off points, but it's not enough. A Transcendence from Slur to see them off, and Morningstars are going to have to go again.
I think Miles may have used a defensive grab there, try to lock up a couple of members of Morningstar, so maybe trying to mitigate the shield power that Shoes Money Crew had in that big ball of enemy heroes, or friendly heroes from their perspective. And now Mouse and Hardest, they both reset that ultimate charge, of course. Mouse has the energy, though, to try building up with these mortars if he's not mitigated. That's going to be down to MauZaSa and Dragon Age to try and make sure these mortars aren't hitting their mark, but JK Lol certainly wants to.
And he's got the shatter, but so does MauZaSa. MauZaSa waited last time around, waited for JK Lol to go aggressive. This time, JK Lowell playing back on the point. They're 20% away from Harry from securing their spot in playoffs.
And crucially, Morningstars have to move down this corridor.
Shadow's going to hit, but the Transcendence is going off. MauZaSa throws his one out as well, but only finds Gustav. JK Lowell's the main target and instantly goes down as Hardest focused him out. Slur using the Trance is the last desperation attempt to try and kill off Hardest. They lose JK Lowell in the process, but at least they traded a tank. Another grab comes through, but a beat is going to get matched from Dreedro, keeping everybody alive and healthy. Self-destruct launch in the back by Molfig, but the Pilot Diva form was long gone. Shoes Money Crew, they're not out of the woods just yet as they do reconvene on point.
It's a big engage once again from Shoes Money Crew. I imagine they're trying to make sure that Morningstars don't have anything for the next fight if they do win.
MauZaSa's got another shatter though. JK Lowell's 50% away. They know how aggressive they can play now. Dragon Eddie's going to find the remake eventually and has self-destructed his back as well. A shatter hits the back line as Slur ends up falling, but this might be too little too late. Exarath goes down and Leaf is going to follow him as well. A beat to save the day from Shoes Money Crew. Gustav coming up massive. MauZaSa finding the kills as well. And Shoes Money Crew find the map win, and they're heading to playoffs.
And they've annihilated now Eternal Academy from any position where they could get into playoffs. They've just relegated an Academy team. These Path to Pro players doing an excellent job. And Gustav actually had 2 beats in that fight. MauZaSa cancelled the first one with his shadow, which was some excellent timing from a veteran main tank. But Gustav was doing such a good job of staying alive, of brawling for a while, well, making sure those amps were getting high value on multiple targets, either for healing or for speed, and built up another beat in basically record time. So great job from the main support of Shoes Money Crew.
That's how much damage the Lucio's doing too. You only get those amp ups every now and then, right? It's not like
once every 13 seconds.
Exactly. So it's not like it's going to be available every 5 seconds or so. So Gustav is pumping out the damage as well, which is exactly what you want from your main support. We're going to jump to a quick break though, guys. Do not go anywhere. Kings Row coming up soon. Hey guys, welcome back. Kings Row on your screens very soon. Morning Stars versus Shoes Money Crew. Shoes Money Crew, with that map win, have secured themselves in the playoffs, but they are still fighting for seeding.
Yeah, they are, and it does look like both of these teams are going to be going forward into playoff draws, but they've got to look to the horizon. They've got to be moving forward. They've got to be looking on and thinking about the future, because Giganti, regardless of how they play today, have secured that third-place seed, which means they will be basically first going into quarterfinals, so top two teams get a bye. So whichever of our teams ends in the 6th seed will be going up against Giganti. Playoffs Giganti in round 1 of our quarterfinals. So it's still all to play for. There are big stakes here. This could be their future of Season 1 hanging in the balance, whether they win or lose.
Yeah, that's kind of scary, to be honest. It's like, oh, group stage Giganti. Yeah, they're pretty scary, but it's like, playoff Giganti though? Like,
I don't want to deal with a Milky chat.
I don't really want to deal with Milky Man when he's in playoff mode. Not going to lie.
He turns it up to 11.
Exactly. Well, we've got a Choose Money crew. Going to continue to do that, hopefully. We'll see if Morning Stars can bounce back in King's Row. Choose Money crew off on the start, they're on the defense, and then Morning Stars, they're on the offense.
And we'll have to see what our teams want to bring out. Of course, we have seen a variation of compositions here on King's Row, but I think now is a good time that we have both of these teams moving forward into playoffs to emphasize how Choose Money crew have come back into Contenders through Contenders trials as well. They've made the path to Pro Jaws. They've played on that path. And JK Lowell, this is his first Contender season, Jaws, and he's going up against big boys. Malzahsa, he's been playing professional Overwatch since I knew how to install Overwatch on a PC. He's been here for that long, and JK Lowell is standing up to him right now. Obling, Molfig, we've seen them with Mouse so many times. They are the grinders. They've been in basically every single Contender season, but haven't really found that much success, and they're looking very good right now. When I talked about Gustav getting 2 beats, him and Slur, they are such a cohesive backline. Slur's first season as well, I believe, and they look to be on track to at least make it to quarterfinals.
Feeling pretty good right now if you Choose Money crew, see if they do ride the high. Now Morning Stars, they're on the offense. They did get to choose this side as well, mind you, so clearly got something up their sleeves. Obling does not want to mess with that. He saw that coming from a mile away. The speed boost into the hotel. Morning Stars wrapping around once again.
Surprised Morning Stars didn't capitalize on Obling's use of the armor pack there. It's not going to be available now for JK Lowell. He can take a lot of damage, no burst.
They made the call, I think. Nice little shield slam actually to stop that charge, and he gets booped up into the air by Dragon Eddie, who was dead before he hit the ground. Leaf is trying to cover himself, was like in a small corridor against Mouse, who actually found 2 in that fight to start off with, so not the worst trade in the world, but still Morning Stars gaining capture percentage.
Yeah, with 2 people being down, Choose Money crew can re-engage here. JK Lowell has just respawned. He will be able to get that investment. He will be able to move forward with a speed boost. There he is. 2 ticks have been acquired, Jaws, and now a Brawl is coming.
They're going to go again, and Sir has actually got a very early Transcendence, and they kill Malzahsa so quickly. They can rely on that Trans if they need to, but I'm not sure they're going to. Slur and the rest of the team are going to be able to clean up the rest of Morning Stars. 2 ticks have been acquired. Not a bad start, but fantastic re-engage, and that was all off the back of Mouse as well.
Exactly, getting 2 picks, removing the Brigitte, removing the Zenyatta means that there's no Discord Orb, there's no Shield Bash, and you know, when you've got no Discord Orb and no Shield Bash, that means JK Lowell can do whatever he wants. There's nothing that's going to stop him unless there's a big pin coming out of Malzahsa, and that is reflected in the ultimate charge. Choose Money crew didn't really invest anything. They have almost 6 ultimates available. The same can be said of Morning Stars. The first 2 are going to open with the rallies, and everyone's going to begin to clash.
Malzahsa swinging away. JK Lowell's got the Shadow online already. Lays it out, lays 2 on the ground. Malzahsa's going to fall at Mouse's hands. Who better, really?
Mouse on Mouse action.
Exactly. Choose Money crew are going to be able to clean this fight up. Now with only 2 minutes remaining. Got a little bit of percent. They got 69 to be precise. Morning Stars are going to have to do something. They got 5 ults online, but Choose Money crew, they might just have the answers. They use the rally, they use the Shatter. But with Mouse using that Graviton Surge early, maybe they had another shot for the next fight.
Yeah, it was an exchange of rallies as well, so Morning Stars aren't going to have that either. This is going to be all about how the support ultimates are used. And sometimes in stressful situations, we see these teams layering up their support ultimates, not getting the ideal uptime out of them. Slur's going to need to escape, and he did get that repair pack.
Self-destruct launched in from Dragon Eddie. JK Lowell's shield is now dead. They used that Graviton Surge to stop him from moving, but the Shatter comes out and hits Mouse. Another couple of layers to support ults, but it might just be okay as they're all trapped inside that grab. A pin onto JK Lowell by Malzahsa, and another Shatter gets laid out, but it doesn't really hit anybody. Gustav and Molfig ended up going down, and JK Lowell, Malzahsa had the better of him in that duel. The point has been captured, and the payload now starts to move.
I'm confused as to Molfig's usage of the self-destruct there. I think he forgot to use his boosters, because we saw Mouse throw out the Graviton Surge. Obviously, you want to throw your self-destruct into the midst of the enemy heroes there, but it was basically on the other side of the point, just stationary. So I think he just forgot to press the boosters. Maybe he thought they were off cooldown, and they weren't. He just pressed shift and kills. Maybe not. But Malzahsa, one sneaky lad. He's in the corner eating a banana. Slur's found him out.
Gonna see him. You're not the smallest character model.
Charging of the Zenyatta, so I'm in trouble right now.
Yeah, I'm backing up. I don't want a few headshots landing on me without much cover. Drijo gets booped into the enemy team, receives an armor pack just in time, and Gustav actually pays for that with his life. Drijo now going in. Might as well at this point. You've got no Lucio to worry about. Boops JK Lowell into the rest of Morning Stars. They're not going to have to invest ultimates in this situation. Slur is also going to fall. Now it's about Choose Money crew just dying on the payload. Hopefully they'll be able to get a second fight out on this, but the car is now so close to that second checkpoint. checkpoint.
It's definitely a testament to the shot calling power of Morningstars that they can vary how they play so much. They will allow Gustav to be the aggressive Lucio and allow for Dredro to play the more passive Lucio until they can get Gustav into one of those shield bash ranges, and he thought he was safe riding up on the wall, but Leaf can use the verticality that's provided by having the platform of the payload to get those clutch shield bashes, and now Shoes Money Crew, they need to defend at the end of second point here.
Early grab, stopping people from advancing on the cards. Self-destruct's going to get launched in by Dragon Eddie as well. This could be big. JK Lowell turns around, shields up most of it, but reveals his back and the rest of his team. Molfig, Goldbling, they're all dead. The part is only 3 meters away now from actually getting to that second checkpoint as Morningstars got a pretty impressive time bank moving into the Foundry.
Hardest actually got a little bit of extra ultimate charge. They got credit for the environmental kill on Mouse with his melee. Somehow must have applied a tiny bit of knockback as he was falling down that particular hole. And Morningstars still have 4 ultimates available. Didn't invest a huge amount. Of course, we saw the Graviton and the Self-Destruct not necessarily combined. Dragon Eddie used that in a more zoning sort of capacity. But Hardest...
Mazasa, ooh, heart leapt just a little bit there, and I think so did Choose Money Crews. They do end up finding him out, killing him off. Slur used the Transcendence regardless there. Doesn't mean Mao's actually investing a Graviton Surge as well. Gotta be careful now, because Hardest is now only 10% away from a grab of his own. And they haven't got support ultimates. Maybe Gustav used that beat for the next fight, but that fight seemed like it was one to me.
I'm gonna call both of those Transcendences incredibly questionable. Morningstars may have invested for Earthshadow there with Malzah's sneaky attempts, but Slur using the Transcendence when basically there was very little other investment and using the Graviton Surge. If at that point you've won this economically, maybe they're going to have to be able to get a good grab here.
There's the grab. Gustav forced to use the beat. At least he gets it on every single member of Shoes Money Crew, but JK Lowell instantly dealt with a pin. Another beat comes through. This on the side of Morningstars. Hobling is going to get isolated. The rest of them are going to go down. Still a lot of time actually burnt away. A minute has elapsed since they actually got to that second checkpoint. Morningstars still moving forward, and Shoes Money Crew aren't out of this yet either. They still got 3 outs in the bank.
Next play though, Jaws, it's not going to be about the big playmakers right now. It's going to be about the percentage clutch plays with these Earth Shatters. Malzahsa and JK Lowell both ready to lay so many targets down on the ground. You've got to get that shield pressure in, make sure the other Ryan is unnerved.
JK Lowell's going to receive a whole lot of armor with this. Uses it to rush himself forward. Those shield health's looking pretty healthy right now. That Shadow's going to be big, though. The Self-Destruct's going to get launched in, but they don't find anything. But Dredro definitely did. Obling gets sent down the pit, and so does Slur. Dredro finding 2 big boops. There's 2 supports now out of the game for Shoes Money Crew. Mouse has the grab, but there's very little follow-up. Gustav's going to have to do the damage, but he's only a Lucio. The Transcendence is also invested by Exarath. You might as well. It's the final fight. And Dredro coming in clutch, 2 boot kills to end the round.
Would anyone believe at the beginning of Season 1, Jaws, Dredro, Season 1, 2018 that was, Dredro was sort of famous as a Mercy one-trick, in inverted commas. Like, he was a top-level Mercy, #1 in EU on the ladder, just playing a load of that. And evidently, the game sense that he gained playing that hero is translated so well over to Lucio, the mechanical skill he has, as well as being able to read his opponents and their movements. Where you go, where you're going down the pits, where you're going. Beautiful objective play there from Dredro, making sure that so many members of Shoes Money Crew were mitigated.
I've seen 1v1 so many people as Valkyrie Mercy.
He's a bloodthirsty Mercy.
Yeah. Even Unlocked on Soldier. Bit embarrassing, mate, but
hey,
is what it is.
Unlocked a tankman. It's not his job to aim.
True, but
he did play a lot of FPS
Soldier
previously, so
Mercy still a bit of a.
I know she moves really fast.
She does, yeah. And the frustrating thing about that as well is when she shifts to somebody in ult form, she moves at like 3,000% speed. It feels like, and then she's also flying around. You can't hit a headshot on that unless you're KSP.
Unless you're KSP. I'm sure he could do it. Maybe Spectral.
Maybe definitely Spectral. We got a lot of hit scan talent.
After what we saw yesterday of Spectral on Junker Downs, like, my team's lost this, but I've not lost this.
Time to get 5 kills as Widowmaker. I want to carry the fight.
Get some montage kills.
Hey, you might as well. But he's got some meme ones just waiting to be made into a montage. Hopefully so. Shoes Money Crew now on the offense. Morningstars on the defense, of course. Molfig actually sitting on the Widowmaker just for a little bit. A little bit of scouting, plus if you can find that early pick, can be so devastating to the defense.
Both of our teams here, they are very keen to not really have any sort of variance in their tactics. They know how important the seeding that this match will decide can be in keeping themselves in a great place for the Contenders quarterfinals, so they're all just taking it incredibly seriously.
Yeah, all JK Lowell That's not good. Again, Dragon Eddy finds this initial kill. Mount's going to follow up with another one. In fact, Obling as well. Hardest victim of his own aggression. Ends up going down to Obling, who's walking into him. He had no shields left. Mausasa traps Gustav in that very small cubby hole as well. Morningstar still vying for the team fight, but Molfig and Maus are just picking off people one by one by one. Target focus is so good from Shoes Money Crew right now. And they capture this point so quickly as well. I don't think there's even a chance for Morningstars to retouch here.
Yeah, it's a very messy fight, Jaws, but you're right. Molfig and Maus, they've played together a lot in the past, and you can definitely see that pre-baked synergy which they have, and it's coming in very much for clutch in these fights where everything sort of breaks down. You lose a player, I lose a player, maybe they lose a player too, a third team has ended the fray. But right now it's going to be Morningstars entering the fray. We don't have many of the necessary tools to make this work. Leaf's going to have to try and get that rally and then lead his team forward with that. Obling will have the match. 10% away for either.
Slur's had so much more control of these fights as well. He always has the Transcendence first, it seems. Extraras only 10% behind, not too bad, but Maus putting up to this Graviton Surge so quickly. They're going to go aggro. They know they have ults to work with. Both rallies have been used. The Shadow hits the ground, but a Transcendence to save them all. The Shadow has to come out sometime from JK Lowell. Decide to use the Graviton Surge first, mix with the bomb, remove the shield. It's all done. Doesn't quite happen, but JK Lowell isolates himself in the back line with a very risky charge. And now Morningstars with a man up are going to just surge on forwards as Shoes Money Crew have to now play on the defense.
I feel JK Lowell there slid off a corner that he thought he was going to collide into. As a Reinhardt player, I can very much attest to that. It's like, I think I'm going to get on the corner of a pub. I think that's where things are going to happen, but he just slides off it and goes deep into the enemy territory. An unfortunate set of circumstances, but a great counterattack.
They're going to go aggressive yet again. That Graviton Surge launches everybody up into the skies. Dragon Eddy now perching himself on top of them. A beat is going to be good, but not enough to save JK Lowell, and another shatter hits the front line. Mausasa finally has the read on JK Lowell. It was a little bit of a problem last week, Harry, when they faced AT. Didn't really have the respect for Lolsish, was kind of letting Lolsish walk past him every now and then, but as soon as Mausasa gets the read on an enemy main tank, there's nothing that he's going to let the enemy main tank do to subvert his shadow.
He's downloaded the critical information, that much is for sure, but right now it feels like Shoes Money Crew have downloaded the critical information on how to try and exploit Hardest's aggression, but they are having to give up so much space here as Morningstars are on point with their rotations. Once again, that's going to be Dredro giving those calls and Mausasa following up, presenting the shield to ferry his team through safely.
Cart's itching back as well. Mausasa does have a premium ever so slightly on Hardest with this grab. Does launch it, hits the car, but a Transcendence there to save them. Molfig can't use that self-destruct, he's nowhere near it. At least an extra 20% would have done, but JK Lowell isolates himself around the corner. His supports couldn't back him up. They were so scared of like moving past Hardest and getting deleted instantly.
Beautiful boots, making sure they could take advantage of the map geometry there. You see that little post box. That post box is currently what JK Lowell has taken off his Christmas card list. That post box, like, you aren't getting around this corner, you aren't getting into line of sight of your supports, because I'm going to block you all the way off. Shoes Money Crew may decide to take a different rotation here. I'd like to even go through high ground. There they are right now. Question is, will they go for a full wrap, Jaws, or will they drop down right here? If they go for a full wrap, they can try and turn around Morningstars, but they're going to drop down.
Cart's going to continue to move back if they do that, though, so they decide the former. Still pushing forward. JK Lowell looking for the shadow, just got it online. Graviton Surge locking two up. There's the self-destruct from Dragon Eddy. This could be brutal. Maus is going to go down. Dragon Eddy finds the key ingredient to this fight, but Mausasa also falls, and now JK Lowell has Shatter. He launches it up into the air, but it gets blocked by Hardest. His personal barrier was able to block it for the rest of his team. A beat comes through from Shoes Money Crew as well. They really want to win this fight. Hardest now just trying to stay alive and keep the rest of his team up as well. Using those barriers, they have to buy time for Mausasa to come back, who's got a shadow of his own.
They've thrown everything and the kitchen sink. Hardest is going to get out, though. They're going to try and chase down. There's a Graviton Surge.
They want to kill him. They want him dead. JK Lowell finds the pin kill on two, sweeps the rest under the rug. Morningstars finally lose that fight, and Shoes Money Crew get the cart moving eventually.
Mausasa's going to have to try and escape here. JK Lowell wants to charge him down alongside his two supports. These are some very bloodthirsty support players in, of course, Gustav and Slur. They're going to back off now. They don't want to get caught out by a regrouping Morningstar. All six of them going to be ready to engage at the end of point B. Maus uses that Graviton Surge at the end. There's no huge playmake available here unless Maus can get a lot with this.
Self-destruct, hello, right in the back line. Goes a little bit wide, though. JK Lowell lays down the shatter. That's three people on their backs. Dragon Eddy instantly demeched. Dredro goes fairly low, but was able to heal himself up at least. The cart's only 3 meters away. Morningstars have to keep this cart in contestation. Extraf ends up going down. The Graviton Surge can't be now followed up with. There's so much healing going on. A three-man shatter, but is it enough? Finally, Malzahsa finds the kill. Opening gets pinned against the wall, gets turned into a slush puppy, but now a self-destruct in the back line should signal the end of the fight. JK Low also ends up going down. Shoes Money Crew on the retreat, and they have a minute left remaining in order to secure that second checkpoint.
Yeah, got to take stock of that time bank, and maybe they will have a little bit less if anyone gets picked off here. Dragnani doesn't want to feed over any additional ultimate charge to Mouse, because that's going to be the big play here. Mouse is 15% away from the Graviton Surge. The same can be said of Hardest. It's going to be a tale of two singularities, Jaws. We recently figured out exactly what they look like through a couple of brilliant NASA telescopes, but right now we're going to get a first-hand demonstration from Hardest.
That's a big grab. That's a big beat, though, to match. They're going to have to do something right now because Opling's dead. They've got now one more fight to do this in, 25 seconds. And that was 2 ults invested by Morningstars. They've still got the Shadow to work with and that Transcendence, but look how far they're holding up now. They're even punishing Mouse for overstepping. Shoes Money Crew need to be able to fight. 10 seconds out remains, but Malzahsa finds another 3 down on the ground and blocks that one too. I told you he had the read.
The pressure's too much, and it looks like Gustav won't be able to make it, but maybe Molfig will.
Oh, he might be able to get back just in time. Molfig inches away from the cart, manages to at least contest it in OT, use the self-destruct to try and find something, but the rest of his team are already dead. Morningstars halt Shoes Money Crew before second and secure King's Row.
And it looks like they really cleaned up their shot calling from the last 2 bits of Lijiang Tower. It looked a little bit more messy, where Hardest were getting caught out a lot more. And of course, when you get to those stressful situations like those fights which break down so quickly, it seems like Shoes Money Crew getting the upper hand. But when Morningstars, when they have a plan, they can execute it super well, and when they have the superior positioning on the defense, they're so good at exploiting that and utilizing it.
Told you, and you said Malzahsa downloaded that critical information onto JK Low, and as soon as he had it, JK Low just wasn't getting a shatter past him, really, and then Malzahsa was able to follow up and get that big shatter to almost end the team fight back on second, and the cart was, what, 3 meters away or something? Like, that is so frustrating if you're JK Low. You let his shatter go past, the healing from the Transcendence was coming out, but there was almost 0 follow-up after that. They didn't have any other support ults to rely on.
Yeah, speaking of following up, the follow-up of Morningstars from that entire fight just moving forward and denying all that space, when right now, it's like Shoes Money Crew was sitting on 20 seconds, so he has to be moving forward, but simultaneously moving back, because Malzahsa was more than capable of just throwing in a shadow, hitting 3 people, and then Slur used his Transcendence. He's like, okay, you guys still need to win a fight on the payload, so we'll just back off. We've killed Mouse, that's all we needed.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's like a solo queue thing, right? Where you're like, okay, so we won the fight, couple of meters, the cart's going to roll back. Okay, we're going to hold here because we know it's safe. We don't want a C9 to happen or anything like that. So we got 30 seconds. That's another fight. We can do that. No worries. You end up losing that, you feel pretty terrible, right? Because it's only 30 seconds. But Morningstars playing the game perfectly, pushing right the way up to their spawn. And Hardest even got a critical kill as well onto Mouse at the end.
Yeah, and speaking of C9s as well, there was beautiful control onto Gustav, because you know that the Lucio is usually going to be the one who's taxed with, okay, guys, we've got 5 seconds left. Lucio, you go over there, you speed boost, we'll ride your way over and trigger overtime. But they did some great control boops onto Gustav to make sure he remained a part of that central brawl in the archway.
Still a couple of maps to come up. We've got Horizon Lunar Colony up in a bit. Do not go anywhere, guys. We'll see you in a bit.